Imagine a government that can't pay its bill, not because the country is poor, not because the buildings disappeared, not because the people vanished. Everything still looks normal, but one day, the payments stop. Salaries arrive late, fuel shipments pause, hospitals start rationing basics. And everyone asks the same question: how can a whole nation not afford itself? This matters right now because more countries are closer to that edge than they want to admit. Debt levels are high, interest rates are higher, and the system that kept things stable for decades is quietly changing. So let's slow this all the way down. Not with jargon, not with charts, just the mechanics. Here's how a nation loses the ability to pay its bills. Think of a country like a household, a very large one, millions of people, one shared wallet. Money flows in, money flows out. Money comes in from taxes, fees, exports, and borrowing. Money goes out to salaries, pensions, healthcare, defense, fuel, debt payments. As long as the inflow keeps up with the outflow, life feels normal. The problem begins when spending grows faster than income. At first, it's manageable. The government borrows a little, just like a household using a credit card. Roads get built, programs expand, voters are happy. Borrowing feels painless because the bill isn't due today. And for a long time, nothing breaks. This is where the story gets dangerous, because success hides the risk. As the economy grows, lenders feel safe. They offer more loans. Interest rates stay low. Rolling over old debt becomes easy. Old loans are paid with new loans. That's not a flaw. That's how modern governments work, until it isn't. Here's the quiet rule that actually matters. A country doesn't fail when it has a lot of debt. It fails when it can't refinance that debt cheaply anymore. Every year, governments don't just pay for schools and hospitals. They also repay old loans. Or more accurately, they replace them. If investors stop trusting you, that replacement gets expensive, fast. Interest rates rise. Suddenly, debt payments eat a bigger slice of the budget. And here's the uncomfortable math. When interest grows faster than the economy, debt starts compounding against you. Not slowly, aggressively. Let's say a country earns 100 units of income. It owes 100 units of debt. Interest is 2%. That's manageable. Now interest jumps to 8%. 8 units disappear every year just to stay in place. No new schools, no improvements, just standing still. So governments make a choice: raise taxes, cut spending, borrow even more. None of these are popular. All of them carry consequences. Raise taxes too much, the economy slows. Cut spending too hard, people protest. Borrow more, lenders panic. This is where confidence cracks. Markets don't wait for collapse, they sense it. Bond buyers start asking questions. Credit rating agencies downgrade. Foreign investors quietly leave. The currency weakens. Now imports cost more: fuel, food, medicine. Inflation rises. People feel poorer even if they're working the same jobs. Ironically, this makes government finances worse. Why? Because social spending goes up when citizens struggle, and tax revenue often goes down. The hole gets deeper. At this stage, leaders usually say the same thing: this is temporary, we have a plan, the fundamentals are strong. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes the math disagrees. There's a moment every struggling nation hits. It's not announced, it's not voted on. It's the moment when paying the bills competes with paying the debt. Teachers or bondholders, hospitals or interest payments, fuel subsidies or foreign lenders. No choice feels acceptable. If the government prints money to cover the gap, inflation accelerates, savings erode, trust collapses faster. If it stops paying debt, it defaults. Default doesn't mean the country disappears. It means lenders stop believing promises. Loans vanish overnight. Imports require cash up front. Currencies crash. The country isn't broke in the way a person is broke. It's broke in the way a reputation is broken. And rebuilding trust takes years, sometimes decades. Here's the part people miss. Many countries reach this point not because they were reckless, but because conditions changed. A global interest rate hike, a sudden war, a pandemic, a commodity price shock. The system assumes stability. When reality breaks that assumption, the weakest balance sheets snap first. This is why hype is dangerous. During good times, debt feels invisible. Growth covers mistakes. Borrowing feels smart, necessary even. During bad times, the same debt becomes a trap. Same numbers, different gravity. Zoom out for a moment. When one nation struggles, it rarely stays isolated. Banks hold its bonds. Trade partners feel the slowdown. Currencies react. Financial stress spreads quietly. Then, suddenly, and globally, the world is more connected than ever, which brings us to the uncomfortable ending. A nation loses the ability to pay its bills long before the money actually runs out. It happens the moment trust turns fragile, when lenders hesitate, when interest becomes punishment instead of payment. So the real question isn't which country will fail next, it's this. In a world built on borrowed time and borrowed money, how many systems are still standing only because nobody has tested them yet?